Hello and welcome to Copper Bulletins, where we've got some exciting stuff to talk about for a change. And Angelica has joined us today because Mikey's not here. Say hi, Hella.
Mhm. Hello.
Hella, welcome back. Yes, I think this is the first, apart from Isaiah with his family, this is the first repeat appearance. Obviously, you were the
Yep.
first guest, and you were technically a guest,
Right.
yeah. But then,
Mhm.
but Mikey couldn't make it, so it's just you today.
Mhm.
But yeah, how's everything going? How's the memes going?
They're going. I mean, not as great as when I first started, but they're going when I get inspired.
I think it's hard. You can run out of ideas, and a lot of it
Hmm.
depends on this is
Yeah.
something memeable. But I think
Yeah. I
what
think
carry on.
yeah. I think once we get more content, that'll inspire more memes.
Yeah, and it's one of those things.
Hmm.
Sometimes you just see something, and immediately you'll get an idea and go, "Actually, I know what I can do with that."
Hmm. Yep. Exactly.
But yeah, it's been an exciting couple of weeks. There's been a lot going on, and I think the first thing we to talk about straight away is Enter Sandman, which
Hmm.
obviously we've been waiting for.
Yep. It's been interesting just to see what they did with it. Because I
Yeah,
think a lot of people probably expected it to just be, kind of similar to the original and just, maybe with a few tweaks here and there, but they like really like deconstructed it and like
they
made it
did.
their own.
Yeah,
And
they did. They basically completely ripped the song apart and put it back together upside down. And I wasn't
hmm
expecting it. Um, the reaction's generally been positive, hasn't it? There's been a few people that don't like it,
yep.
but
Yeah, I think just looking at it, I think one way you can always look at it is like, and when they post it on YouTube, that like to dislike ratio.
yeah,
I've seen a few covers that weren't that favorable, where like their dislikes are way higher than their likes. But yeah, this one's been pretty positive from what I've
yeah.
seen. Obviously, we have a few haters here and
There are
there,
always, let's face
trolls,
it,
and then
which
people um who will actually hate on it.
yeah. But then
But
again,
I mean,
we're dealing with
it
them.
is what it
Yeah,
is.
it's the Metallica fan base we're
Mm-hmm.
dealing with, and
Yep.
they hate half the stuff Metallica's done.
Mm-hmm.
So what hope does someone covering them have? Um,
True, they'll just
yeah,
hate to hate. but but yeah, yeah. I mean, I think once like obviously like the first time if you were expecting something else, it's gonna be like kind of shock and maybe you didn't like it. But like after a few times, you can kind of appreciate like what they
yeah,
did with it, and I
yeah,
think in that way it
definitely.
also makes it stand out from like the rest of the covers from the blacklist.
Yeah, it did. It's one of those. At the first time I heard it, you spend most of the time processing it, trying to figure out where it's going to go. But then, yeah,
Hmm.
after a few listens, yeah, it properly grew on me, and I really I've heard a couple of the other ones like Royal Blood did Sad but True,
Hmm.
and it was really good, but it was just pretty much
Hmm.
Royal Blood doing the same song. They didn't really do much to mix it up,
Hmm.
which is
Yeah, and I think a lot of artists did that, which is like fine. I think as long as they like add a little bit to it, but yeah, I think that kind of them changing it up a bit is like a good thing because it'll make it stand out. Like
yeah.
if the media like reviews them and stuff, that I feel like that's one thing that makes it stand out, that they didn't just did the same like. And I think the most impressive thing is that they did it in a week.
Yes,
Like they were able to do this whole rearrangement in a week and just record it and get it ready to go,
yeah.
which
Again,
is impressive in itself.
big shout out to Matt
Mhm.
Squire and David Bender for the production and the mixing on that as well. Because I
Mhm.
really love the way it sort of builds up in layers. The more you, after a few listens, I think that's what you really pick up on, and that just gradually grows and builds. And I know Metallica. I think it maybe this was in the Rolling Stone interview, was it, or in one of them where they said that Metallica's original vision for the song was some kind of a creepy lullaby, And the original probably doesn't really nail that vibe in the end, but this does. Definitely.
And so I think maybe that's also why Metallica liked it, because it kind of went closer to what they originally saw it as, and they're like, they kept the essence of it, but then they kind of made it what we originally wanted it to. So I think that probably could be one of the reasons it stood out to them.
Yeah, definitely. I really like
cool.
I really like the contrast between Alessia's vocals and Danny's vocal as well.
Yeah, I was surprised how well they blended together. Just like, I mean, I think you wouldn't really think that they would fit together, like when you first hear about like them working together, but they really made it work and made it their own.
Yeah, no, definitely. And again, I think part of that is down to the production as well, and then the mixing. But yeah, it really does work very well. And I really like the whoas in the background. Again, the first time I heard it, I was like, "What's this? No, this isn't in the original." But the more you listen to it, it's like, okay, I really like how this is going.
And I actually didn't notice that the solo was missing. Because I know that's one thing that a lot of people like said that they missed, that there wasn't that epic solo. But I like the way they arranged it. I feel like it didn't
really
fully fit. And I know the warning, like when they think about putting a solo, and they always say that they try and like make it like, if it works with the song, they'll add it, but if it doesn't, they won't. So
given that they're going with it's a more sort of atmospheric sort of arrangement, I don't think the solo would quite have fit. And I don't think, and it doesn't get any. It gets at its creepiest when Pow does the little "Now I lay me down to sleep."
Oh yeah, the voice. Yeah, I know. When I first heard it, I thought it was like, I don't know. I thought it was like the God Kid or something. I'm like, but then I heard it a bit more. I'm like, is it Pow? And then obviously the video confirmed that it was her.
The first time I heard it, I thought, I'm pretty sure that's Pow. But yeah, it is always a bit tricky when you haven't seen it. But yeah,
and then just in
the little head tilt at the beginning of the video.
I think the video itself was also pretty cool. Like how they kind of did it in black and white. Like the whole atmosphere of it was awesome, and then all the different shots that they had there were also pretty epic, I think.
Yeah, and that location was really cool as well.
I think like usually the radio kind of make it more intense. Like I feel like it adds to the intensity of the song. Like when you see it, like with the visuals of the video.
Oh no, and I think a lot of people have said that. It's like they said that they weren't sure about the song at first, but when they saw it with the video, that's when it clicked, which is really interesting. It's certainly, I mean, it's hit. Has it hit 200,000? Hasn't it already? Views on YouTube.
Yeah, I think. It's like closer to 210 at the moment. But yeah, like I think it's one of their quickest rising videos. Because typically they're closer to like a 100K or so, like that first 1-2 days. But yeah, this one blew up, and then also on Spotify, the first day I checked recently, it was like 228,000 streams, which is like
in a day.
Insane.
Jeez, I hadn't.
Day, so
you know what? I hadn't checked. That's insane. It's getting a ton of coverage as well.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like this is gonna definitely open up a lot of doors for them. Like they'll be able to see like kind of like their work, and see like, oh, I should check them out, and fall down the rabbit hole like many of us.
Oh yeah, it was really cool over the last couple of weeks looking through YouTube comments and seeing comments on the older videos saying like, "Oh, I got Midnight Sun sent me here," which is shows the power of something like that.
Yeah, that was another cool thing. Yeah, it's especially a Marvel trailer. A lot of people always follow that. So if they like the music, they'll try and find where it's from.
Yeah, and I actually love the fact that they held off for the whole song right till the end to give us the sort of the signature Enter Sandman riff. I really like the way, because there's so many points in the song where you think it's going to come in and it doesn't, and then it was just when and right at the end it's in there. It's like it's like a reward.
But, it's like the payoff of like waiting and letting it build up.
But I think that's really clever.
It makes it really cooler.
It makes it so satisfying when that hits. We got a bit of news from Danny on an Instagram live. Last night, wasn't it?
Yep.
I know you saw it. I'll admit I didn't, because I think I might have fallen asleep because of but
Yeah, time differences.
yeah. But it was Fox Sports, if I'm right.
Yeah, I believe she mentioned that they're gonna be using their cover during Fox Sports segments, like for NFL and stuff like that, which is pretty cool, and it'll be awesome for that exposure.
That would be
Maybe you'll have
ridiculous. Really. So I'm
Yeah,
guessing it's for stuff like highlight reels and the promotional bumpers in between segments and stuff like that.
I believe so. I don't think she didn't give too many details, but yeah, she just mentioned Fox Sports. I think someone else asked, and then she was like, "Oh, yep." Which I'm like, "Oh, that's cool."
That, I mean, the amount of, I mean, that add that to the stuff from the Marvel trailer and the general publicity around this already, because it's part of the blacklist. Like we've seen, like a Rolling Stone piece, things like that. That will be stratospheric in terms of exposure, I think. You get so many eyes
I think
and ears
it's
on
good.
it.
Exactly, and it's like obviously not everyone's gonna stay and become a fan, but just getting their name out there, getting them more opportunities.
Oh yeah, there's going to be
exposure.
There's going to be a ton of people sat on their sofas during Monday Night Football, shazamming the crap out of it, trying to find out what it is.
Yeah, yeah. I watch football, so it'll be exciting when I get to hear it in one of the games.
You're totally going to sort of video that, aren't you, on your phone and do an Insta story?
Yeah, if I catch it, I'm definitely gonna record it.
The other thing I've seen a lot of from Evolve as well. I've started again because I'm sad and I read the YouTube comments. Started to see YouTube comments popping up saying, "Just found this band on Sirius or on Octane." Again.
Oh yeah, they've been playing them very consistently there, which is good. A lot of more coverage from there, so that's always nice.
Yeah, but again, it's just it's really nice, just like you said, to see that happening and to see people coming and finding the band in different ways. And of course, the best one was we saw recently, because I know we're in that little chat group. Was someone who found the band because of a GIF.
Oh my god, that's the
amazing.
best way to. Yes, and like I think when we first started like working on getting the gifts out for everyone, we're like waiting for that first person to say that they found them through a GIF, and it's actually pretty amazing. I think.
I mean, I've done a couple, but I know you and Isaiah as well. But it's probably the GIF master, so I wonder whose it was. But yeah, I just thought it was hilarious.
I mean, we started it off, and then a lot of people started adding to them, so now we have quite a collection of gifts.
Well, yeah, I just thought that was hilarious. Just the different ways someone can discover a band. It's like, well, here's a GIF which doesn't even have any sound on it.
It's like, just I guess the energy was like, oh, there, like, oh, let me check them out. They look interesting.
And I suppose as well, I've never seen so many reactions appear in such a small space of time for a warning track. But again, I think
I've seen that they've been rolling in.
But I suppose there's going to be an overlap, because there's people who already cover the warning, but people who Metallica fans will have been planning to react to the Blacklist tracks and stuff like that. So again, you get it coming from other angles. But again, I don't know if there's like reactors out there who cover Alessia Cara, but again, she's got her own fans. I didn't realize as well, she's got an album come out now as well.
So, yeah, but I believe it's like 2 weeks or so.
Because I keep getting Instagram ads for it. When I scroll through the stories, it keeps popping up. There's Alessia Cara's new album. But again, I think she's enjoyed her little foray into rock music. So just an amazing project.
I'd also be interested in seeing how they would like write an original song together, kind of with a similar blend. I think they'd also make something pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I can absolutely see that happen. Or even just, for example, her doing her own song on without the band being in the song, but possibly
Mhm.
saying like hooking up with Pow or Danny just to do some writing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That too. Yeah.
But I want to write
Especially
something.
Pao is like
Yeah.
lyrics
Yeah, it's
and
like
the songwriter.
exactly.
He's
It's like
genius.
I
Yeah.
need to. I want to write something, but can you make it a bit more murdery for me? It's like,
Mhm.
the other big news we got. There's been so much going on. It was about 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? When we got the announcement
Yeah,
of the
I believe
Mayday
so.
EP.
Yeah, that was a big one. Like I think the fans, we were all just kind of thinking we're gonna get another single,
Yeah,
and then they're like, "Bam, EP for you guys." So now instead of one new song, it's gonna be basically 4 new
yeah,
songs, including Martirio
yeah.
finally and High Quality.
Yeah, obviously we've heard it
Hmm.
several times in several forms, but never actually been recorded. So yeah, this will
So yeah, it'll be good to hear that final, like their final version,
yeah.
how they
So
intended it. Which
the track list for the
yes,
EP is Disciple, Choke, which we've heard, Animosity. See, I'd call the next track Z. You'd probably call it Z,
hmm
which we've heard about 10 seconds of on a TikTok.
hmm sounds very funky.
Yes. Evolve and Martirio. So Martirio we've heard before to a certain degree. Evolve and Choke, obviously the two first singles. So
Hmm
two and a half, well, two and 90% new songs there. Um,
hmm Yeah, yeah, I think, and the names are interesting themselves. I
yes,
think
they conjure up lots
it's
of
like
images in your head. Um,
I don't know that Z one, just like a one letter Z. He's just there.
yes. Now for that, like I said, we've only had that little snippet that Pow did on TikTok.
Hmm
Pow rapidly becoming the Tom Holland of the Warning cinematic universe.
Yep.
It gave me Offspring vibes. That certainly sort of like Smash era
Mhm.
Offspring, kind of punky, kind of garage. Hard to tell from a little snippet, but I like the vibe.
Yeah, it's like yeah, I don't know how to.
It feels kind of
I don't know. It was like very catchy, like
yeah.
catchy, and
It's
I think that the nice thing is it sounds different than
yeah,
both Evolve and
completely
Choke.
different. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
got a kind of yeah. Choke feels very 90s metal and rock sort of.
Mhm.
Evolve kind of feels more 80s. Oh, but it Evolve's weird because it feels half sort of 80s, like classic sort of heavy metal. Um, I saw
Mhm.
someone say Judas Priesty for the rhythm and the verses, and I think they were spot on. But also, there's kind of a 2000s alternative music kind of vibe, so it's kind of got both halves. But yeah,
Mhm.
Z/Z, whatever you want to call it, feels very 2000s sort of skater punk kind of vibe from that snippet. But as we know,
Mhm.
the band could go anywhere, either side of that. But I'm excited to find
Exactly.
out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting just to see like how it flows. Now that it's in an EP format, because I'm assuming they look to make it flow
Yeah.
within these 6 songs. But yeah, I think that's one of the things I like about them is that they change it up with
Yes.
their songs. So it's like you can listen to one song and then like you can listen to another one and it's like totally different mood and setting, like which is nice because that way you don't really get tired of listening
No.
to them because you always
Yeah.
have a different song for like however you're feeling.
Exactly. There's always one you can pick. I
Hmm
Now there was a lot of confusion about the EP, um,
hmm
which but we are still living in really weird times, and
hmm
in an ideal world the album would be out and the band would be touring, but realistically
hmm
that's still kind of up in the air. You can only release your album
hmm
once. You can't like release
Yep.
it, so you need to do it at the right time. And clearly the
hmm
band and their management don't feel it's the right time yet, but they're conscious of the fact
hmm
that people are getting impatient. So
hmm
let's have a taster, and I'm all for it. But
Yeah.
I saw lots of comments like, "Why only 6 songs? I thought they'd recorded 12." It's like, Calm down.
Yeah, it's. I think it's like a nice compromise of like getting us more songs, but like without it being a full release yet. Which is I don't know. Some people are not never gonna be
No.
happy about that, but they have to just
There's a few
realize that.
people out there who are convinced that Lava Records are somehow holding the band hostage or something, or won't release the album. It's like, no, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
this is. Yeah, I'm pretty
yeah.
sure
I'm
this is
pretty sure
a
they wouldn't.
COVID thing.
Yeah, they wouldn't negotiate for like seven
No.
months. And their contract to just be held hostage on their
Yeah.
music.
We've made this
Be,
album, which is going to make us some money,
mhm,
and we're not going to release it. It's like, no, that's not. So clearly,
mhm,
it's not come out yet because the time's not right, and I can fully understand that.
mhm,
They want to be able to put that out
mhm,
with a tour, and the tour and the album both sort of feed off each other. Blah blah. Can't really do one without
mhm.
the other. But I think
Yep.
like I
And
say, it's a good compromise.
it's nice. It's like I personally thought was already kind of used to the idea that we weren't gonna get like the full album this year. So it's
Yeah,
like we'll just get singles. So this EP thing was kind of like a nice surprise
yeah,
for me. I'm like, oh, we'll get a few more.
and they're going to be watching things like stream numbers, YouTube views,
Hmm.
social media chatter. They'll be watching that so closely, and to see where things
Hmm.
are. And I suspect at the moment that everyone's very happy because I suspect with Enter Sandman coming out, the chatter is and views and stuff are sky high at the moment. Long may it continue.
Hmm.
I'm intrigued by the titles. I like these one word titles. It's
Hmm.
who was it? I think it was Josh on the Discord server, who was very insightful and said, "I wonder if Z
Hmm.
is maybe something to do with Generation Z." I was like, "Ooh, I like that
Yeah.
idea." Obviously, that's their generation.
Hmm. Hmm.
But
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Like something maybe like a sort of an anthem for Gen Z or something. But who knows?
yeah, but that's one thing. I mean, they're
Hmm.
for such a young band. They've always been incredibly socially aware in terms of like
Hmm.
stuff they write about. Um, I mean, they put 21st Century Blood was what 4 years ago. They wrote that 5 years ago.
I think it's 4 years. Yeah, it's 2017. So it's like
Yeah,
yeah, a bit over 4 years
yeah,
ago.
and
Hmm.
that pretty much nails a lot of stuff on the head about
Hmm.
today's society. It's like
Exactly, especially that title track.
yeah, it's like I'm not that
Hmm.
aware about what's going on.
Hmm.
So yeah, and yeah, interesting to see what other kind of subjects or kind of ideas they tackle with their songs on this one.
Hmm. Exactly. It's yeah. I don't know. I think the main thing is we should just be excited that we're getting new music. So,
Yes, it's been a
and I think
while.
that's
It's
I think we have like 4 weeks now for it to come out.
it's the
Should fly
uh,
by quick.
it's the 8th, isn't it? 8th of October.
Yep. Hmm.
But certainly right now more than at any time previously, the scenes you get a sense of some real momentum building up, which is exciting.
Yep.
That's another thing I
Like,
noticed as well at the moment, obviously because of the Black Metallica are obviously very active, and there's a lot of promotion they're doing as well at the moment. So it all
mhm.
that drags all the other acts that are involved with the blacklist along with them in their wake too. I saw that they were
Mhm.
on Jimmy Kimmel, I think
Mhm.
yesterday. But that made me think because I looked at it's like I think Alessia Cara has done Fallon and Kimmel in the past, and she's promoting an album. So it's like, well, is there a
Mhm.
possibility of a late night appearance even maybe on the horizon? Is there a way
Mhm.
to angle that in? That would blow my mind
I
if
mean,
that
maybe.
happened.
Yeah, I think the whole fan base would be like their mind would blow, like mind blown, like oh wow, like because that's like another big step and like another big like place will they get exposure, just like any of the late night shows that really. Hmm.
Yeah, and especially with the Fox thing as well. There's
Hmm.
that could be the sort of the crowbar that opens the door far enough to say, actually, yeah, let's get them on.
Exactly. It just so yeah, I think it'll be good to look at the numbers these next few weeks and see how that goes. 'Cause I mean, just at first the first day numbers are already kind of surprising
Yeah,
compared to like what we've seen from
no,
like
they're
prior
great.
releases. So it's pretty cool to kind of be at this step of like the band's career and kind of see them start to kind of take off.
No, yeah, it's really exciting just to see so much traffic and chatter. I'm yeah, really excited. Got the goosebumps going.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's interesting. Like I think to put it into perspective, it's just really like the start of their career. It's not like an old band. It's like really the start of like them getting out there, which is awesome to think
Yeah,
about.
yeah. This is we're getting in the part now where people will be just discovering them, and there will be people talking about this overnight sensation when they've been plugging away for what 7 years, which is crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's just kind of building up on what they've been working hard on these past few years. It is awesome.
Because that's the thing. I mean, going back all the way to the original Enter Sandman, they 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 had a choice to make. They could have just carried on
Hmm.
just being and happily just been kids that just did this as a hobby. You know, it could have just stayed there.
Hmm.
Because to get to where they are now, you've got to put in so much work and make so many sacrifices. You know,
Yeah, and just like and not taking the easy way out of just doing covers because I feel like
yeah,
that's the thing a lot of bands kind of crutch themselves on. They just kind of focus on making covers just to get the views, but then don't really work focus on the original
yeah,
stuff. The warning really just works on just getting out the original stuff
yeah. And
and working on
again,
that. I think it's yeah. I
uh,
mean, I think it had been like a few years since they actually like did an official cover. Um,
yeah. Well, and again,
since
that was a conscious decision they made at one point. They said,
Mhm,
right, stop the covers. We're going to be an original band now,
mhm,
which is no
mhm,
that's the harder way to do it. Because even
mhm,
now, how often do you get comments from within the fan base, even who've known them for years, saying, "Oh, would you do a cover of so and so?" You know, people love covers.
mhm.
They're
Yeah, because they was like listening to like things they're familiar with, but
yeah,
sometimes
and also if you're doing cover songs, you don't have to write anything, which makes life a lot
yeah,
easier.
you already have the blueprint.
Yeah, there's an infinite number of
That's
songs out there you can just decide to cover. Um, but going through the
mhm,
writing is a whole other process.
exactly. So it's and then just not just writing it, but like actually having like a good music
Yeah,
that people will like. That in itself is a challenge. So
I mean,
they were able to do it, and
at times in my life, I've tried to write songs, and I literally have no idea how people do it. It's like
mhm,
I don't understand how you can.
yeah,
It's like I came up with like a couple of things that are absolutely awful. I'm assuming you have to start with the awful ones and work through it, but it's like I can't do this. This is too hard.
mhm.
So I've got great
Yeah. I
respect
don't
for
think.
anyone who can do it.
Yeah, this is why I'm an accountant. I'm not that creative when it comes to music and stuff like that.
Numbers, no numbers are fine. I don't.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes, I can deal with
yeah,
numbers.
I've
Not making new music.
I mean, I've heard of creative accounting. I've got to admit, but
Yep.
normally involves people going to prison at some point as well. So maybe stay clear of
Yes,
that.
it's yep. But yeah, it'll be interesting to kind of see how it blows up with this cover and then their EP coming out in a few weeks.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's so much going on now, and it's
Yeah,
like not far off before we start hitting live shows again.
I think so. Yeah, it's I think right now, if everything goes
Yeah,
well, in November we'll have our first.
Rockville.
They'll
Yeah,
have their first live show.
yeah,
Um,
that's Rockville, isn't it? Or is that the Foo
it's the
Fighters?
Foo Fighters
Foo Fighters
first.
first, then
Foo
Rockville.
Fighters first, and then yeah, and then a few days later it's gonna be Rockville.
Yeah, it's only a
But
couple of
yeah,
days
that'll
between them,
be
isn't there? They're really close together, if I remember
yeah.
rightly.
Yeah, it's the Foo Fighters I know is on a Wednesday. I think it's the 10th. Let me quickly check my calendar. Yeah, it's on the 10th of November. And then their Rockville gig is on the 14th of November, which is on the Sunday, so
Yeah,
like basically like four
yeah, I knew they
days
were really close.
4 days later.
And when you think about that as
Mhm.
well now, obviously the Foo Fighters gig was already really exciting. But I
Mhm.
think by that time, if things continue, the buzz around that opening slot is going to be pretty intense coming off the back of
Mhm.
the EP and this Enter Sandman cover, which is,
Mhm.
say, very early days for it, but it already seems to be doing ripping up trees. So I think at that
Mhm.
point there'll be their profile will already be a lot higher, and
And yeah, it'll be interesting to see like in Rockville where like they placed them, like timing wise.
yeah, but yeah,
Just as they kind of grow, maybe they'll get moved up to like a later spot.
yeah, because yeah, they're on this like second or third on the bill at the moment for their day. I'm trying to
Hmm.
remember where I saw it. I don't. I mean, I don't know if that
They're,
necessarily.
they're toward like the middle.
Yeah,
Their name isn't like the biggest, but I
but
think
it's
they're like
not on
toward
that
the
list either.
middle of the billing.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that would be interesting. Like you say, if maybe they get bumped up because of it, because they're just like
Hmm.
the
They're getting
lower
that
buzz.
like recognition and buzz. Yep.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
crazy how that stuff can happen nowadays. Like I say, there's so many weird
Yeah.
ways that a song or an act can get popular. So obviously, the weirdest one at the moment is TikTok, but there's
Hmm.
other ways that happen.
Yeah, just getting your stuff out there and getting those connections that with Metallica and in the
Exactly.
Blacklist, and then
Lots of, like I
all that.
say, you still get criticism for people who are suspicious of record labels and what have you, which I kind of
Hmm.
get, but I don't think that you get onto the Metallica Blacklist album and then subsequently get your track picked up by Fox Sports without someone,
Hmm.
with a decent amount of influence
Kind of,
knocking on the
yeah,
door.
pitching the idea.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that's where the muscle
Yeah,
comes
so
in.
it's
It's like,
yeah, there's definitely like a lot. Yeah, I think that's another thing fans don't seem to understand, that we won't always see like everything that happens. There's always
no.
those behind the doors things that get everything set up what it needs to be.
Yeah, well, again,
So
I've seen that a few times where people commenting like lava need to be more transparent. No, they don't. Lava don't answer
no,
to us.
that's not how it works.
Lava deal with
Hmm.
the band, and then the band
Hmm.
deal with us as fans. So yeah,
Hmm.
Lava and the band talk about stuff. They'll decide stuff, decide not to do stuff, whatever. And it's down to the band to communicate that. It'd be really weird if Lava were just anything other than sort of fairly high level stuff we started communicating.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I guess
Yeah,
it's
it's
I can understand it from some of the fans just because the band have always been so communicative about what they're doing. They're so hands on,
hmm.
especially through Patreon, but also even through stuff like the Instagram lives and more recently on
Hmm.
Twitch. They're very open about what's going on, and so occasionally How is a
Yeah.
little bit too open, but
Hmm.
yeah, they're really communicative. So yeah, I suppose to a certain degree, maybe some of the fans aren't used to not exactly radio silence, but just being less sort of getting less of a sort of a
Waiting.
blow by blow account of what's
Hmm.
going on.
Hmm.
But also, we're
It's
in really strange times.
yeah, it's a mix. Like there's some stuff they can't tell because they're waiting on timing.
Yeah, and
You know,
literally they aren't going
that's
to
another
know.
thing. Yeah, and there's always like a lot of things that they have to keep in mind. they probably have all these metrics and stuff, research that they do to, make sure that they make their announcement like at the right time.
Exactly. There's a whole
get everything ready to go.
Whole lot of planning going on. Speaking about being busy as well and stuff like, I just remembered in the Instagram live where Danny had that massive pile of posters that she'd been signing, and it was it was ridiculous.
I wonder how long that took. Just going through and signing all of them.
Like, that's the kind of stuff you get made to do at school when you've done something wrong. Same with the handwritten lyrics. It's like this is punishment. But again, it's easy to maybe not be quite aware of the amount of work that goes on just for stuff like saying Patreon, and so occasionally Danny will do something, or they'll do something on Instagram, and you'll just see piles of boxes and piles of t-shirts, piles of lyric sheets, and it's like an insane amount of work that goes on. But
exactly. So
but you can certainly in this past couple of weeks, you're really starting to see that paying off.
You're starting to see more of that, the work that they've been putting in, and the results of it too, which is just cool. Like, obviously, we only see the end result, but they definitely know like all the work that they put in to get here.
I mean, to the extent that they, even whilst on holiday, they did a bit of work over in Spain by doing the Sean Drac video. Like, always hustling.
They're like, let's get this in. You're always finding like, I think that's another thing. They always seize the opportunities that they're given, and make the best of.
Because I remember when they're on holiday and people are saying, "Do you think they'll do anything over there?" It's like, don't be daft. They're on holiday. Let them have a rest.
Yeah.
No, they found something to do.
Yep. Yeah, but they I think that's also another thing. They're always open to opportunities and make the best of them.
No, definitely. I'm saying, do you think we'll get another single after the EP? What do you think?
I think maybe one more, possibly, like kind of leading into the album, kind of like maybe a single that when they announce like the final album date and stuff like that. But yeah, it'd be interesting because if they do like two singles, and then it'd be like only like 5 songs in the album that we would.
Yeah, it's not that many.
It'd be like 4 songs actually, because so that's why I'm thinking it will only be like one extra single to promote the full album at least.
Actually, that was interesting. I've just remembered something. I'm going back to Danny's live. When she said they might be doing Enter Sandman in the live sets at some point. I've got to admit, that kind of surprised me. I probably thought they'd discount that, but
yeah, and she seemed like pretty excited about it, which I guess that's another thing to look forward to, seeing how they approach it live.
And again, because it's if it was just a straight cover, but because it's so different, they've very much made it their own. It'd be interesting to see. And also, what would they do with Alessia's vocal part? Would someone else pick that up, or would they maybe just run that on a track or something?
Yes, maybe Ian Rockwell or the Foo Fighters. Well, more likely it's Rockwell, maybe, since Metallica's headliner there.
Yeah,
that might be kind of cool, but.
Especially with something like that as well, you might be able to get for a one-off. You might be able to get Alessia down for it.
Oh, that'd be pretty awesome. Have them do like a live version of their cover.
That'd be really cool. But yeah, it's it's like I say, it's such an interesting take on it. It does kind of feel like a different song. So.
Yeah, I think that's a crazy thing that they managed to be able to put their twist on it and change it like on its head and while still keeping the essence of it. I think that's the most impressive part of it, and I think that's why a lot of people have been like, people who maybe don't know about them have been also been kind of like intrigued.
Well, I think with a cover that you've got two routes. You either do it as close to the original as possible, or you do something, you sort of do it completely different and make it your own. They're the only two. If you're kind of in the middle, it probably doesn't work. You either go completely different, rework it, or you just do it exactly the same. And I'm really glad they went the way they did.
And I mean, as Metallica had mentioned, like they wanted them to do like their own thing. Like they didn't want it to be just an exact copy. So they did the assignment.
They understood the assignment.
Yep.
Yes, they always understood the assignment. Thank you for coming back. I'm not very good at pronouncing Spanish. I did it at school. I was
No
really bad
worries.
at it. But no, it's been great to have you back. Filling in
Thank
for
you for having me.
Mikey. But it's probably the most exciting time yet to have been a Warning fan, I think.
Yes,
I think it's safe
definitely.
to say
Yeah,
that.
we had a few months of quiet, but now it's ramping up.
Yeah, it feels like really big things are just right on the horizon. It's just about to tip over, and then who knows? The sky's the limit. So
Exactly.
So if you haven't listened to the Enter Sandman cover, I don't know why you haven't. I can't imagine anyone who's watching this hasn't listened to it at this point. But if you have, go watch it again. Go listen to it. Go stream it, and let us know what you thought of it in the comments. I always forget about the comments. Unless you didn't like it, in which case, don't tell us, because, like my mother always says, if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything.
Yep.
So yeah, let us know what you thought of Enter Sandman, and go listen to it. Go subscribe to The Warning. Go follow them. Go follow them on Instagram because they're really fun, and follow them on Twitch. Do all those things and more, and join Patreon because you get the scoop on exciting things early. But yeah, thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on, Elika, and I hope we'll get you on again soon. And to everyone out there, just thanks for listening, and we will see you next time. Say bye.